Hello, everybody. Nice to see you again for an HEC webinar. And I'm pleased to introduce Maroun El Najjar for this webinar about social entrepreneurship. So I'll make a brief introduction and then I leave the floor to Maroun to share his experience about impact entrepreneurship and more precisely an initiative that may be linked to social entrepreneurship. And so the agenda is the following. Opening address, experience sharing, and then some Q&A session, and all that will last between 45 minutes to 1 hour. So most people already know me. I'm affiliate professor at HEC, teaching entrepreneurial finance. I'm also HEC's representative for the Paris-Saclay Seed Fund, and more interested in impact investing since we are also running an impact accelerator at HEC. Maroun, could you please introduce yourself briefly?
Hello, everyone. I'm honored today being with you on this platform, sharing my view and experience about social entrepreneurship. Let me introduce myself. I'm an entrepreneur, investor, and social activist, born and raised in Lebanon till 2013 when I moved to Saudi Arabia till present. I hold a master's degree in innovation and entrepreneurship, cohort 3 from HEC Paris. And soon I'm starting my PhD in sustainability entrepreneurship in ESCP Europe. Following my successful career in the FMCG industry back to 1993 to 2006, started with Pernod Ricard Group, Heineken Amstel, and then I moved. My recent career was, my last corporate career was in Nestle Middle East. I made the move in early 2007 to launch my company, ROI Middle East, specialized in sports events and marketing and entertainment, scaled up throughout the years to different markets in the Middle East, like UAE, Iraq, Egypt, and Lebanon. I'm a co-founder and a co-founder and board member of Innovest Middle East. It's an investment firm that incubates in a potential startup in the region against equity stake and value creation streams. On a social aspects, I'm a committee chair in Rotary Club Beirut since 2016. Involved a lot in social activities, especially when it comes to environment, since I'm a believer of doing good for the community is not a choice. It's an appreciation of our economic and well-being status. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maroun. And so I really appreciate hosting this webinar with you. So you are one of the most active members of Cohort 3. I love Cohort 3 of MSIE, lots of amazing people. And so let's immediately start with, of course, you all know the necessity as a startup to create, to generate cash flows and capital gains for financial backers, but it's not enough. And of course, there are also issues of sustainability and having a social and an environmental impact. But you have to take into account multiple stakeholders and also to do good, as Maroun told us. So there are first sustainability issues. Only some economists do not know that continuous growth on a limited planet is simply impossible, mathematically speaking. Over 2 centuries, a 2% growth simply multiplies the pressure on resources by 50. And so it's simply not sustainable to continue growing like we did in our modern capitalism, and we experience that almost every day. But there are not only sustainability or environmental goals, there are multiple other goals that are addressed by UN through its sustainable development goals. And let's directly take the example addressed by Maroun and his entrepreneurial and financial initiatives. But before saying that, you have to know that most entrepreneurs do not create to make money. Money is only a tool. They create to have an impact. They create to be free, and they create for personal development reasons. And that leads us back to Maroon's experience and experience sharing. So Maroon, do you want me to share the slides, or do you want me to pass you the baton?
Yes, yes, you can please do. If you can pass the access.
Yeah. So it's your turn now.
Okay. I can't see the presentation. Professor, I can't see the presentation.
You cannot see it. So do you want me to share it again? Yeah, so let me. Sorry. So here we are again. And so do you see the slide? Yeah.
So would you take control, Professor?
Yeah. Oh, so it was that was your slide. Sorry. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So as investors and entrepreneurs, we all know that we usually look after bottom line results, and this is normal as one of our main KPIs for the success of the business. Nowadays, with all what is happening, it's becoming more effective to look after triple bottom line instead of one bottom line. And here I mean the profit, the social, and the environment, diverting the focus into more sustainable path for us to address the world's, as we are seeing now, the world's most pressing challenges in reference to the SDGs goals. So at social entrepreneurship, it provides a framework for the businesses to find their own success in helping others. It becomes a source of motivation even for the employees within the organization to follow, to follow their passion and find a social purpose to keep them motivated. So please, Prof. Okay, here it's obviously, if we look at these slides, I put the NGO, the CSR, and the social entrepreneurship. The only denominator among NGO and the CSR and the social entrepreneurship is the intention of doing goods. And the three of them, the three different segments, end up in doing good for the society. So the intention of doing goods while trying to solve a social problem, they all work for a purpose, actually, at the same end results, to serve the community. But mechanics and framework differ, actually. So if we look at the NGO, and here Rotary is a very great example and very good example about NGO, it's different in revenue and profit. Since they don't make profit in any of their activities, they do raise funds based on donations or selling goods made internally by some volunteers, actually, and to resell it in order to generate revenue. So the CSR, and again, I mentioned Walmart, they have a program called Walmart Sustainability. It's one of the, it's a case study, actually, Walmart Sustainability when it comes to CSR initiative. It's the result of a strong and consistent bottom line within the organization by raising funds for making an impact based on performance of the company. So if the company is performing well or very well with a strong bottom line, they end up doing some social responsibilities activities to bring, for image, for social help, for doing good and feeling good, whether they're employees, their customers, or their vendor. So it's an initiative of paying back to community while looking good vis-a-vis their customers, as I said, employees, and the entire society. And TerraCycle is, again, is very good, American company, is very good example of recycling the materials. Any material that can be recyclable, it can be recyclable. And this is a very good example about social enterprise that puts, social enterprise puts impact first and then the profit. yet it's a profitable business and it has to be profitable and it should remain profitable. They serve long-term social cause to make a change, knowing it's a private and profit-oriented company, even though the impact comes first versus the profit. So, Professor? Okay, I would say there are three things founders should know about it when it comes to social entrepreneurship. One, we should follow a passion, our passion. And, you know, throughout my years of experience, whether when I was at the corporate level or entrepreneurship level, entrepreneurial level, it took me some time to realize that work becomes better if I follow my passion, simply because it's not only about how much money we are making at the end of the year, yet financials is important, but it's not the only reason to work, because by time, and as we all know that economics goes and up and down, so, and especially when you are on the entrepreneurial level, you will find it difficult to maintain the same income or keep on increasing year on year. So as an entrepreneur, we have always years up and years down. If there is no passion in what we are doing, we cannot sustain the business, simply. So by following what we are passionate about clarifies, I would say, our path while enabling our compassion to create fulfillment, simply. And point number two is discovering your purpose, as we call it, the reason for, helps to defining the purpose around our life. Let's say blogging, jumping into a business opportunity, launching a startup, writing a book, meeting people, whatever, innovating, etc. All are important. Without finding a purpose in life and defining the roadmap to achieve it, a lot, and I mean it, a lot will be missing. And the third one is finding your tribe. I mean, not everyone likes to do good for the society, for the community. So after finding your passion and discovering your purpose, then comes finding your tribe. And here, I mean, it takes two things to find a tribe. As tribe cannot find us, we must find it. Point number one is shared interests. We have to find the people who share the same interest and the social interests like us. Two, the ways to communicate to people, whether if we are an NGO or social enterprise or we are running a CSR initiative. So we should be authentic in doing good, being grateful for everything that we get, and for people who help us to reach where we are, whether at work, at home, at the university, wherever. So just being grateful and authentic in what we are doing. So as social entrepreneur, we should have the ability to toggle between the roles of who we are and what we are trying to solve as a social problem. And that's very, I mean, ultimately, that's very important to keep it in mind. Professor, please.
So passion-driven and purpose-driven entrepreneurship.
Absolutely, absolutely. Social innovation is the DNA of social enterprise. I mean, it cannot be better, actually. It focuses the attention on the ideas and the solution that creates social value, as well as the processes. So if we have the ideas and the solution, but we don't have the process, we're still missing. The chain is still missing, through which we are, I mean, the process through which we are, they are generated, regardless where they are coming from. Actually, it's a new social innovation. It's a new social practice that aims to meet social needs in a better way versus the existing solutions. Accordingly, there are three key mechanics that are driving social innovation. Key number one is exchanging the ideas and values among the social circle and those who are interested to change the world I mean, into a better place. I mean, I cannot go, I cannot bring an idea, a social, innovative idea to share with someone who doesn't care about the social community, who doesn't care about making an impact in life or change something to a better place in life. So just we have to select a social circles who are interested to be in the same place. Key number 2 is shifts in roles and responsibilities that requires active collaboration across different stakeholders like the government, the corporates, and the NGOs. And key number 3 is integration of private capital with public and philanthropic support to achieve and increase the pool of funding. I mean, to make it available actually for the development and knowledge transfer in the emerging countries. So it's an integration of different parties and sources in order to make a solid funding and achieve what we are coming up as an idea to help the social system. Society. Please, sir. Here, that's very, very interesting model, actually, economic model. I loved it. The more I read about it, the more I see that, yeah, that's spot on. It's called donut economy. It looks like a donut, actually. And this is created by Kale Raworth in 2012. She's an economist and professor at Oxford University. And who focused on exploring the economic thinking needed to address the 21st century social and ecological challenges. She has a very powerful and famous saying. You can read it in all her books or articles, when she said that the most powerful tool in economics is not the money, nor even the algebra. It's a pencil, that because with a pencil you can draw the world. So if we can think about it, that's beautiful. So the donut economy, here we can see that there are different layers. The donut economy promises to reframe and redraw the future of economics for a new generation. Looking at the circle, it looks like a donut, as I said, by combining the concept of the 9 planetary boundaries that are in blue, that life depends on. So these are 9 planetary boundaries we all depend on. Combine it with the 12 social foundation that are identified as human elements for identified by SDGs as the human aspects to make a better life. So the center hole in the middle, the center hole of the model depicts the proportion of the people that lack the access into the life essentials. So the dot in between the planetary boundaries and the social foundation are considered as the safe and the space for humanity. It's considered prosperous when all the 12 foundations are met without overshooting any of the 9 planetary boundaries. So here I would recommend a book. Really, it's a very interesting book. I would recommend a book written by Mark Benoit called Opinion Pieces. He's arguing about that profits are not sufficient for companies anymore, since companies must do good by lifting the interests of their employees, of their customers, of the environment and the social, alongside with their shareholders. So companies cannot only look and think about shareholders, keep the shareholders happy. There are certain, aspects that we should also take it into consideration. So this gives us an insight about sustainable business investments known as the stakeholders capitalism. Professor, please. Here, I would say, Hick, in a nutshell, I can summarize it that we should all go back to basics. We should plant. We should live. I mean, a very simple life. And this is actually, I got inspired during, and I would say towards end of the COVID-19. Uh, we all know, ladies and gentlemen, that life pre-COVID-19 is completely different post-COVID-19. It has certain changes on our daily routine, like the way we shop, the way we commute, the way we eat, the way we work. I mean, who said that we can do the same productivity rate while we are sitting in the pajama at home? I mean, we we are doing it simply. So COVID-19 pushed us to think of our needs that are essential for our survival rather than thinking of our wants that are based on desires. Though we are being, I would say, we are being born into a new normal, new kind of society, new relationship to the earth, or else a new experience of being a human. And that's the end results of COVID-19. So I believe it's a great opportunity, seriously, if we come and think about it, with all the challenges and the unprecedented challenges and all the circumstances that we faced during the COVID-19, I would say it's a great opportunity for entrepreneurs and business leaders to, to embrace the much needed change by stepping up into the challenge of making the new essentials a reality of all, while turning the moment of anxiety into a moment of reflection as a new lifestyle for the coming future. It's a need, it's indeed a big opportunity also for entrepreneurship, for nurturing the entrepreneurship within our ecosystem. I'll give you a small example. When we went back to the office, and actually we are at 50% now occupancy in our offices, because most of the team, we are rotating the working hours, and most of the team are still working at home. But when we went back to business, actually, I get two out of my team, senior team, coming back to me with a business plan. And I had a choice: either they want to do it with us, or they want to find another interested investors who will be investing into their business model. So I got actually two of my team, and I'm very happy for two reasons. One, because it's a new business opportunity and it's based on technology. The second one, I didn't lose them, simply because I'm so much attached to my team, especially those, most of my team have been with me since 2007 when I started the company. And we have different businesses across the region, but we are, me and my business partners, we are very conscious that we have to do the best to maintain, to retain our team within and make the team growing within the company. And we launched 5 years back a program called Lead to Own. And two of the guys became our business partners. I mean, in specific markets. So these guys came back to me with two business plan. One, it's about e-commerce and specific e-commerce that I found an opportunity for Saudi. And the second one is about esports. And it took me some time to read a lot about esports, because I'm not a gamer. I'm not a fan of games. But when I saw the potential behind this industry in this part of the world, and even globally, I couldn't say no. So here the idea is that it's an opportunity. I was talking about the opportunity for entrepreneurship to increase and nurture this new experience at corporate level that helps to incite the corporate transformation, increasing motivation and innovation, and more importantly, retaining the good people within the company. So that's in a nutshell about how I see post COVID-19. If I stand out and try to evaluate and assess the advantages and the disadvantages of COVID-19, in my view, in my experience, in what I see it, be it on social level, be it on the business level. I would say I cannot see but the good thing or the good time coming in after the COVID. So I would say if I want to tick the boxes of good things are much more than the bad things.
That's because you are an entrepreneur. Yeah. So COVID made mankind more humble, but it created also lots of opportunities for entrepreneurs, especially impact entrepreneurs.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Please.
Yeah.
So as we said, that social entrepreneurs in general seek to provide practical, sustainable approaches to problems in society through their businesses. There are many ways to do it, as mentioned before, whether we donate part of our profits or we employ disadvantaged workers. It's also common for social entrepreneurs to focus on giving back to the local communities in which they work. And one of the things that I was discussing with the board team and the board members in Innovest, our company, that at least it's my conviction that we will not invest in any business or in any startup unless it has a social purpose. And now I'll tell you, Maven X, the esports platform that we are developing, we have the team. We founded a team in Pakistan for the tech team. However, and the whole team, the team is, ready to start today working on the platform. But I put things on hold up until they will come back to me with a social purpose. I will not launch it unless we have a social cause to work against it. And that was my challenge for them and even for myself.
And what was this purpose? Can you tell us?
Yeah, the purpose, the one that I would, it rang the bell for me actually last week when they presented the idea was giving facilities and helping the disabled players to work, whether we offer them special equipments and we will promote and nurture their skills, even though, because within our platform, Etienne, we are offering an academy to train the people. So for the disabled players, we will have a specific program. And now the MD, he's a co-founder and the MD, is working with a company, American company, that are, I would say they are among the top in training, in esports training, how we can bring them to Saudi or collaborate with them to develop a program for disabled players. And my challenge for them is how we can, out of this, because 70% Etienne of the Saudi population are gamers.
Whoa.
And yeah, and the rate of disability is quite high. I don't have specifically, but I remember once I read about it that it's quite among the youth. And 75% of the Saudi population are below 30 years. So you see, so the point is, so once we develop the program for disabled players, we will provide them and supply them with equipments and with equipments and with the training to nurture their skills. And if you ask me what would you love to see, I would tell you I would love to see a championship out of this team that we are nurturing, that we are helping to make them a good player. A pro gamer, as we say. Mm-hmm. So that's like in a nutshell.
Uh-huh. Okay, and you wanted to share us another initiative that you nurtured in Innovest. So that's the next slide.
These are the main phases that we have to look into it when we are planning to launch a social enterprise. We should identify the social purpose. What are we trying to achieve and what to do in order to achieve this purpose? How it will be measured actually. Okay, we can talk from now till 3 days about a purpose and about an objective. But if we don't have set KPIs and a measuring tool for these KPIs, I mean, we're going nowhere. The second phase is about planning. Planning is developing a business, simple, a business plan, and this business plan should have a business model where we can highlight on the social cause, highlight the social cause and the not only the social cause that we are trying to serve, and also on how we are generating revenue and profit. Because if this social enterprise is not profitable, then better not to call it a social enterprise. Then we'll put it under the NGO and try to raise some funds to deliver some initiatives. Number 3 is about connecting with the shareholders who share the same social purpose. I mean, today, if someone present me a business plan that has a social purpose, and me personally not interested into this subject or this areas of focus, then it won't be interesting for me, and it will be a waste of time for the founder. So just connecting with the social, connecting with the right shareholders who are willing to work unconditionally, days and night, to achieve their objective, their purpose. As we say, we keep our watches at home. I mean, and we just work days and night. Point number 5, or phase number 5, it's about seeding. Finding the right investors who are also passionate and sharing the same social purpose, are much more lean and accept the investment idea faster, and that would be happy. Simply, that would be happy to invest, especially if it's built based on a strong business model. Phase number 5 is about recruiting the right team. I cannot go and recruit someone who doesn't care about the environment or about the social entrepreneurship and tell him, come, and your salary should not be as high as it's in a regular, I mean, normal corporation, so a company. So recruiting the right team to join the startup, it makes our life more easy. It gives more mileage into the success of this venture versus someone who is not interested. And here, nurturing the culture within the organization and raising awareness and educating those who are working in this startup that to become the ambassadors. Actually, we call it the ambassadors of the social cause, as well as through the network, to make them understand actually the importance and the impact of the social cause. Scaling up is something interesting, but it should take time to do it. It cannot be, I mean, after a year, take a decision to scale up into another market or into another country, because it has to also have, and it has to be coupled with the right moment and the country culture, and specifically that scaling up require money, investment, and we should not burn the money during the scaling phase. Actually, it should, otherwise it will end up failing, because it's simple. The more we want to scale, on the fastest we want to scale, the highest risk we are getting. Last but not least, it's, as we said, that social innovation is the DNA of social enterprises. And this is for the continuity actually of the business. It's important and vital to maintain the social cause within the organization. And we should raise many opportunities to add on the proposition throughout the years, whether goods or social aspects. I mean, innovation is very important. And now when I tell you our experience in 24 Butters, you would understand that how innovation is important. That will give more exposure for the brand, for the purpose itself, for the social purpose itself, as well as for the financial rewards.
So we see that before seeing this example of 24 bottles, that you have to design two business plans, a traditional one, cash flow oriented, and a second one, purpose oriented with some tangible social or environmental KPIs.
Correct. Absolutely.
So next, that's your baby.
24 bottles actually. In 2013, I was on a business trip to Paris, visiting Maison et Objets during that time, where I met Giovanni, the founder, actually, a young guy, 24, 25. His name is Giovanni Randazzo. He was standing up on a small table with few bottles of 24 bottles. This is actually a tumbler. Just a second, please. Okay. So this is a bottle. He had maybe 10 of these, 15 of these max on the table. And
always show your product. That's the first rule.
So, during that time, I was looking for getting one of our ventures here, Etienne, is we distribute products across the Middle East region. It's one of the companies that we own, and mainly related to arts, lifestyle products, and gifting. So with the increase and the increase of awareness on well-being, drinking water, being healthy, so I was looking for different products actually, and one of them, it was a bottle. And I was in negotiation with a company based in States called Swell. Swell, it's a known brand, but during my communication with them, they were not ready to export. Just only it was a startup also. So when I met Giovanni, I was talking to him about the business, and I asked him, tell me about your story. What's your story? Why you're doing 24 bottles? And he just started talking to me. I remember well, while looking at his eyes, and I saw the passion of his story. And on top of that, he spoke for maybe half an hour, 45 minutes about 24 bottles, but he didn't try to sell the product. So he didn't speak about the quality of the brand of the products. He forgot, to say, he was talking about the social cause, why he is launching this product. So he got me so excited, and I told him, are you looking for investors? Are you looking for distributors? He said, yeah, because it will help me to expand, and it will help me to shortcut. So we move ahead, and we had another meeting, and until we invested in his business, and we are now the exclusive distributor for the MENA region for this brand. This brand is, I cannot tell you, it's a double-digit growth on yearly basis, because it has everything. I can tell you a lot about it. It has the quality of the product. It's made of stainless steel 18/8, the premium quality. It's sustainable, eco-friendly, and I'm gonna tell you more about it. And it has a social cause, actually. Please, can we see the video?
Yes, I try to share it. Hope that I can share the sound. Can you hear it?
Perfect, Etienne.
Oh, yeah, okay.
What happens next? The future is already here. Every day we're building it. It's our choice. Start to be sustainable, human, credible, responsible, committed, supportive, virtuous, Start with a bottle.
Thank you. Okay, so we started first with a range of, this is called urban bottle. This is only for drinking water or juice, and it's mainly targeting the sports people. I mean, the gym, those who make sports, jogging, whatever. Today, look at the range, and there is also, and continuously it's growing.
That's impressive.
We have. I mean, on weekly basis, we have new product. On weekly basis, new design, and we have now this urban. This is a regular bottle. We have the floater and the infuser and the canvas. It's called Klima. It's insulated bottles. 12 hours hot water, 24 hours cold water, and it's designed made by artists. That is, I mean, you can see the range. And recently we launched the tumblers for coffee, for tea, for soups, and there are small, you can see it here, the small sizes, long sizes. And can you please move to another slide? Yeah, and these are some of the collections. And the good thing about it, that we've been approached by international fashion houses, like, for example, Christian Dior in the next picture. There are
this is, yes, that's Christian Dior.
So these are limited edition bottles made for Christian Dior. I mean, for a company like Christian Dior to ask for 24 bottles, special edition and limited edition called Dior, I mean, you could understand the quality and the purpose behind this. And there is Diesel, another one, Diesel, also the second page.
Yes, here is it.
For Diesel brand. And there is another one also. This was launched last month for Lamborghini cars. And actually, these we don't sell them. We can buy very limited quantity, but it's made for the brands to join. Okay, please go ahead. Okay, if we looked here at the bottle, we can see that it's written here minus 0.08. What does it say? The minus 0.08, it's every time we fill this bottle with water, we are saving CO2 emission of minus 0.08. Every time we drink in a plastic bottle and we throw it, we are hurting the environment by 0.08 CO2. So this was made again for a purpose to help the environment, and more importantly, to be really sustainable. We decided to plant tree. Why? Because we created a forest called Oxygen, and this forest is dispersed over different countries. We plant trees, fruit trees, and cedars, pine trees, different trees in different countries. The reason why, because we calculate the carbon footprint of the bottles from the raw materials through the production and from the packaging through the transportation. So what is the CO2, the carbon footprint that is consumed into these processes? We end up, we end up being absorbed by the trees that we are planting in Oxygen. So far, we've planted almost 9,000 trees, which are very good. I mean, because again, we didn't start it in the first year. It took us 2 to 3 years to take this initiative. And on the same time, we are saving a lot of CO2 on the planet itself. So that's in a nutshell the story of, and we have a plan to expand and to launch, let's say, a new brand, a new product, which is the lunchbox. And here I told last time Professor Etienne about the lunchbox. How did it come?
And so that's only the beginning of the story. Maroon, perhaps we will have we'll leave a bit time for Q&A. Do you have a few words to conclude, or but you can also address this lunchbox idea. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Here there are the tips. That's in my opinion, that are the the tips that can help any social entrepreneurship to look into it. First, we should identify the solution for social entrepreneur. What are we trying to solve, and why, and how can be measured. Second, testing the efficiency of our value proposition. I mean, we can come up with many ideas, but these ideas are not practically implemented, so it will not help us to solve the problem. Believe genuinely and passionately towards our purpose. Aim to make an impact like we've done in 24 bottles. Shout it from the rooftop, as we say. We cannot go and have, establish a company, a social entrepreneurship, a social enterprise, and do good for the community without shouting what we are trying to do. I mean, it's very important, especially if it's serving the purpose that we have based the inception of the company. Partnering with big business. Let's go back to Christian Dior and to Diesel and to Lamborghini. These are big partners that can give credibility and get a good image of the product. Remember to make our business profitable, and that's very, very important to keep it profitable. And then the last but not least, scale once we understand our current ecosystem. I mean, we cannot scale, again, coming back to the scaling point, we cannot scale while we are still not solid on the market where we started the business. So once we understand the market, let's say here in Saudi, once we understand the market in Saudi very well, then we think to scale and move into another market in the Middle East. That's in a nutshell. Thanks again, and I hope I could convey the right idea and experience about social entrepreneurship.
Yeah, thank you so much, Maroon. So I guess there are lots of questions. There was one about what are the social and the environmental KPIs, so the key performance indicators for 24 bottles. It's carbon capture or it's carbon savings. That's obvious, but you have perhaps other ones. There was also a question about the difficulty to find impact investors. Do you agree with that, or do you think that it's a growing trend? I also have my opinion, but what about the difficulty to find authentic impact investors?
Yeah, that's very difficult to find. People who are entrepreneurs or investors, I would say. We can find much easier entrepreneurs, but because the entrepreneurs usually they are young people, the investors are much older. So the young people, they have different way of thinking than let's say my generation or the older generation. So in terms of I would say investment, if we look at the steps, the phases for starting the social entrepreneurship, there is phase number 4. It's called seed. So ideally for a social enterprise, ideally is to self-fund it first, to start the business with maybe it can be with friends, with families who believe in you as a person first, then the business, the idea, and make, let's say, the first move. Accordingly, your mission and your acceptance for the social purpose becomes much easier. And there are, I would say, after the COVID-19, we are gonna see a lot of social entrepreneurs and social and investors who are looking for a social cause to invest in. So yes, in general, it's difficult, but also you can find VCs who are very much interested, especially when you have a strong value proposition behind your idea. And regarding the 24 bottles, the question is, sorry, what was the question, Etienne?
So what were the key performance indicators you followed beyond profit itself? So what are the key criteria in order to know that you do good? Is it only carbon related indicators, or also social or other indicators?
Carbon, yes, is very important, very important to be, zero emission footprint. Second, our profitability, because if we're not making money, we cannot grow, we cannot scale and expand. And third, the acceptance of the people, the consumers at the end, because our sales are growing on every month on double digit. I mean, I started, I'll give you an example. Saudi Arabia in 2014, we started the distribution in this market. Maybe it was 500 pieces a month, 500 pieces a month, 600. Today we are selling on a monthly basis 7,000 to 8,000. And this is one market. And even though we, in terms of distribution, we're being very selective where we are listing the product. So, first profit, second the purpose, third the sales, and fourth the impact that we are doing on the environment by planting trees and shouting on the roof, as we say, on the rooftop. We're making everyone knows what we are doing, and also when someone like Christian Dior and Lamborghini and Diesel, and there are many other big brands, approach us to develop a bottle for them. So if we weren't doing good and they will believe in us, they wouldn't approach us. I mean, producing this bottle is not a rocket science. You go to China and you do it in China simply. Certain KPIs and conditions that you will be producing exactly the same one. But the message behind it, the purpose behind it, the image that we are building is paying back. And the expansion of the product. We are, as we say, horizontally and vertically expanding the range by launching new product. As I told you, Prof, last time, that we are launching soon a lunchbox.
Yeah.
So this is one of the ideas.
That's an amazing story. There was a question about the title of the book of Marc Benoit. Could you write it on the chat box, or yeah? How is that book called?
I highly recommend it because it's about opinion pieces.
Opinion pieces. Oh yes. Okay. Another question, Maroon. How do you and your colleagues decide to invest to back a new venture with interesting impact prospects? Is it informal? Do you have formal decision grids? How do you are you driven by passion because you seem to do so? You are also an entrepreneur. So how do you take how do you strike deals? How do you take decisions?
Genuinely driven by emotions. Genuinely, I'm a social activist. I love doing good. I'm seriously, and as I told you before, I mean, my motto is doing good for the community is not a choice. Actually, it's an appreciation for our economy and our well-being status. I mean, simply, you cannot live on this earth all the time getting, I want more. What are you giving in return? I mean, that's me. But again, there are certain process that we have to follow. I mean, when one of the guys here came to me and say, hey, I have an idea, Maroon, and if I would like to present, told him, is your business plan ready? She said, yes, it's almost ready. But I want to discuss it with you informally first, to give me your input, and then we'll present it to the board. And that was one of, when I was talking about entrepreneurship, then she's one of the entrepreneurs now working on an e-commerce. So, and the other one also, when they present, so the idea is I follow the normal procedure of as an investor, but part of my decision, it takes me very little time to decide this is an investment I want to be in or not. So I'll base my decision somehow on my intuition first, and the person himself, Giovanni, when he was talking, I couldn't move my eyes on his eyes when he was, because his eyes were sparking. You know, he forgot talking to me about the bottles, because the bottles itself value zero. During that time, this bottle value zero. I mean, what's the value behind it? Producing a bottle. I mean, I have 10 factories in China. We deal with them. They can do much nicer design and shape. Much nicer design and shape. But he spoke about the purpose. He spoke about the mission behind the idea. So the person himself plays a major role for me when it comes to a decision to invest for us. So that's
yes, Maroon, but you have been trained in the most famous companies, and so intuition is probably a shortcut for a long experience, and the experience speaks also behind your intuition. There is an interesting remark of Maximilian. He says he was wondering if a social entrepreneurship or social enterprise would be well accepted with the general public if this enterprise is not a non-profit. So is it possible to be accepted take a company like Danone, who is a bit under pressure currently. So can you really follow an economic goal and a social purpose in the long range? Do you believe it?
Look, if a company like Danone, usually they are not a social enterprise. They should do profit, and they are in business to do profit, and profit comes first. But in this case, I would shift them from social entrepreneurship to CSR programs. Like Nestle, they have youth for youth. Helping the youth, because it seems that in Europe, the unemployment rate was high a couple of years back. They launched something called youth, I forget, because we work in our projects, in our company, in ROI company, we work on a project called youth, again, sorry, I forgot, it's quite old. So in this case, in case of Danone, it's not a social enterprise. It's a profitable business, a profit business. A company that generates revenue, but they want to look good vis-a-vis the community and vis-a-vis their employees and their suppliers and the global. As an image, then they will launch a program, a CSR program, where impact comes second. Profit first and income comes second. So at the end, if Danone are not performing well, they cannot sustain their CSR program, simply.
Okay, thank you for this quite balanced answer. So Maroon, it's always a pleasure to listen to you. But you know that there are not only your MSIE colleagues listening to you. We also casted this webinar on YouTube. And let's take a last question that you probably would not have expected. Somebody says, what was the value added of the HSC MSIE for you for your business and entrepreneurship and impact at large?
Look, A lot, a lot of, a lot of added value.
Yes,
Trust
but more
me.
specifically.
I don't know. Yeah, a lot of added value because look, uh, I stopped learning at the age of 23, 24, and I thought that I did my job, as we say, and that's enough, you know. But I keep on reading articles and some books. But when I took the decision to join this program, and I would say that's an amazing, amazing program because it broadened my horizon as an entrepreneur. Literally, it broadened my horizon. So when I decided to join, my first comment came from my wife. She said, "You're 48. I mean, almost 48 years. How are you planning to go back to studies? I mean, you're gonna study with your daughter. I mean, does it make sense?" So to an extent, I realized yes, she's right. But you know what I did, Etienne? I started taking courses. You know, these courses on Coursera.
Yes.
2 weeks courses, because just to get back into the flow and the process of studying, submitting exam. Maybe I took some courses over 6 months before joining this program. And when I joined this program, it was so hard on me because too much work, too much commitment. My wife was pregnant and she was delivering in States, and I had to go and stay. So I used to wake up every day, almost every day at 3 a.m. I'm an early riser anyway. I woke up 4, 5. So I made it 1 hour ahead, and I started waking up from 3 to 6, 7 studying where everyone is sleeping. And that was very good for me. And during the Fridays and Saturdays, it's our weekend in Saudi. My family lives in Lebanon and I live by myself in Saudi. So I take advantage to study. So it wasn't something easy, but it's worth it. It's worth the pressure. It's worth the commitment. And here we go. We made it. Unfortunately, we couldn't graduate the right way. I mean, the right practice, but maybe next year we'll have that. But when I noticed this and I noticed the benefits that I got it out of this program, I decided to move into a PhD program, which is more challenging, more. And I remember we spoke, Professor, about it, and you gave me your advice that which motivated me more. But and unfortunately, I couldn't do it in HEC because it's a full-time commitment in HEC over 5 years. So it's out of. I had to go to ESCP. They have a very good and flexible program for PhD. So, and in a nutshell, I realized that education has no age, no color, no race, no time, nothing. If anyone wants to educate and learn, he can find, especially these days, knowledge is becoming cheap because you can find it on internet. You can access anything on internet. So at the end, knowledge is I would say, instead of cheap, less expensive and
affordable.
Affordable. And that's it. And here in my office, I have a painting. It's written by Michelangelo. I'm still learning. I put it in a frame. It's called "I'm Still Learning," Michelangelo at age 87.
An everlasting learner. So Maroon, thank you so much. Your course is an amazing one. Every course is an amazing one, but I love this course 3. And again, thank you so much. I'd also like to thank all my colleagues, Stephanie, Cheryl, Adrien, without whom these webinars would never be possible. And thank you to all of you for having assisted to this webinar. There will be other ones, but again, thank you, Maroon. I'm wishing you all the best.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Maroon. Thank you, Etienne.
Thank you.
Bravo.
Merci.